Hi guys, I've had a request to explain the correct usage of who and whom. Before I can do that, I need to explain the difference between a subject and an object. Every English sentence needs to have a verb and a subject. The subject is the noun to which the verb refers. So in the sentence, Tom threw the ball, the verb is threw, and the noun that threw was Tom. So in that sentence, Tom is the subject. The object is the ball, the noun that is acted upon by the subject. If we reverse the voice of that sentence, and we say the ball was thrown by Tom, the verb is now thrown. Thrown refers to the ball, so the ball is now the subject, and Tom is the object. To tell whether a noun is a subject or an object in a sentence, take out the other noun and see if you still have a complete sentence. If you do, the noun that remains is the subject. If you don't, the noun you took out was the subject. So now that we know the difference between a subject and an object, we can start replacing nouns with subjective pronouns and objective pronouns. Now, those words might seem totally alien to you at the moment, but chances are you do this all the time without realizing it. If you were going to replace Tom with a pronoun in the first sentence I gave you, Tom threw the ball, you would say he threw the ball, because him threw the ball doesn't make sense. This is because he is a subjective pronoun and him is an objective pronoun. A subjective pronoun can only replace the subject of a sentence, and an objective pronoun can only replace the object of a sentence. If Tom was the object in our second example sentence, the ball was thrown by Tom, and we wanted to replace Tom with a pronoun, we would say the ball was thrown by him, because him is the objective pronoun. The ball was thrown by he doesn't make sense, because you're replacing an object with a subjective pronoun. If that makes sense to you, you'll find the usage of who and whom very, very simple. Who, like he, is a subjective pronoun. Whom, like him, is an objective pronoun. So who should be used if you're replacing the subject of a sentence, and whom should be used if you're replacing the object of a sentence. So in our first example, if we were to change that into a question, we would say, who threw the ball? Because we would also say, he threw the ball. We wouldn't say, him threw the ball, and therefore we would not say, whom threw the ball. If we were to turn our second example sentence into a question, we would say, the ball was thrown by whom, or by whom was the ball thrown. We'd use whom because we're replacing Tom, who is now the object of the sentence. So the easiest way to work out whether you should be using who or whom is to reword the sentence to include either he or him. If you include he, then you're using who because they are both subjective pronouns. If him sounds better, then you would use whom because they are both objective pronouns. Other subjective pronouns are she, I, and they, and other objective pronouns are me, her, and them. In the sentence, to whom it may concern, we know that whom is correct because we could easily say it concerns him. We wouldn't say it concerns he, and therefore we wouldn't say to who it may concern. In the sentence, who is coming to dinner, we know that who is correct because we would say they are coming to dinner. We wouldn't say them are coming to dinner, and therefore we would not say whom is coming to dinner. So, hopefully you can now distinguish between who and whom. Just remember that who is subjective and should be used like any other subjective pronoun. Whom is objective and should be used like any other objective pronoun. Good luck. This can be tricky, but once you get your head around it, it is a pretty simple grammar convention.